Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Fables from the Pickled Quipper. I am your host and master of dungeons, Phil. Today, we pick up with the group of miscreants, and adventurers, as they rest up in the former bugbear camp, preparing to return to Delzimer. I'm sure that will be a fairly painless journey where nothing could possibly go wrong. Let's find out, shall we? Sit back and enjoy. Welcome to session 18, goodness me. So we left off. Day 2's mission was to go and return with the Lady Julith, Windale, rescuing her from a tribe of bugbears. A throwdown occurred very quickly. No negotiations were possible. Things got a little dicey. Cosette was teetering on the brink for most of the fight. Eska was matrixing the entire time, pretty much. Trying to not be clobbered by like 4 bugbears. Somehow, through perseverance, the bugbears were felled. The Lady Julith was recovered from deep in the woods where she ran. You gathered up around the fire. As you can hear, the storm is still raging. A short rest has been achieved. So, what would you like to do?
First thing, Sylvaris is gonna approach Julith and just like kind of how's she sort of right now?
Pretty stony faced right now. There's been a little bit of time. She's had a little chat with Claire and Cassette and is feeling a little bit more comfortable around you guys. Just kind of taking it in, really.
Sylvaris is gonna approach her as he gets within, like, close talking distance. He's
Julith.
Yes?
I wish to offer my apologies for our prior turbulence.
You mean when you sent your dragon to rip my throat out?
That's not exactly what he was doing. You're misunderstanding.
You see there's actually a hint of a smile on her face.
My intentions were but the best. I'm sure you're aware of that now.
I am. Thank you.
He does.
In the moment, there's a little intent.
This was not the outcome we initially intended, but we were here for your safety. And it seems as such that we have achieved this.
And he offers one of the bugbear weapons to her. He says,
We are told that you are capable. Take this just in case.
She kind of eyes it up a little bit hesitantly for a second and then takes it and kind of weighs it in her hand and then gives a couple of test swings with it and seems like she'd actually do okay.
he kind of crooks a smile and nods to her, goes over to Cosette.
You did quite well out there, Cosette.
Thank you. I didn't think we'd make it that time.
I will not lie. I was a bit concerned for you for a moment there. But it seems your skill and prowess saw you through. It's another example of your skill.
Yeah, I guess for people that were kind of thrown together, they're all very different. We actually work pretty well together.
I have seen combat with my brothers on several occasions, working as a team. I'm quite accustomed to. You seem to be as well, even if you aren't as seasoned as you say you are. You are natural.
Yeah, I used to hate all the training that I went through growing up. Um, hitting training dummies over and over and over, but I guess at least it gave me instincts to fall back on. So, I guess I should be thankful for all that my parents put me through.
Indeed.
And then Sylvaris is going to head over to Claire, stand looming over her, and just kind of stare at her for a little bit, waiting for her to speak.
As Silverius walks away, Cassette kind of smiles to herself, like she was expecting to get told by the big dragon guy like what she did wrong, instead of complimented. Yeah, I was pretty happy with that interaction.
Clara, looking pretty tired from all the earlier exertion, just kind of looks up and just glares right back at him.
You continue to surprise me. Always pulling out different tricks.
And he unsheaths his sword, not like hostilely, just kind of slowly. Shink. And he starts to say,
You have many tricks up your sleeve. How about this thing?
and he taps her hammer.
Was that just blind luck? Or do you even know how to use it?
I'm a dwarf. What do you think? Hammers are in our blood. Combat's in our blood. It's just part of growing up.
That might be so, but if I recall never seeing you even use that thing, dwarven or not, one's true potential is never known until.
And just kind of a little primly, like rearranging her, like the long part of her clothing that hangs down kind of around her neatly in her lap. She just says, well, I don't have to reveal all my secrets to everyone all the time. Just because you underestimate me doesn't mean I'm not capable.
We shall see.
And Sylvaris goes to sit down if there's like a chair or something.
When
There's a
when
couple
his
of stumps and stuff.
when his back turns to her, Claire pokes her tongue out behind his back at him.
And was Eska
Yeah.
before he sits down? He kind of hesitates and is slowly turns his head towards Eska, and he stands up and approaches. And if she doesn't move, he's gonna try to grab her cloak, kind of right underneath her neck.
I mean, I would attempt to dodge that if I saw the hand coming in.
Make a athletics for Sylvaris and acrobatics for Eska. Yeah, still disadvantage for both. Oh, sad.
15.
Oh, 10 for her.
So you go to grab, and Eska, not even really paying attention, just kind of sees a big scaly claw coming towards her, and immediately subconsciously backs out of out of reach.
As she backs out, Silvarius raises his sword about chest height just to, like, pointing at her.
And you, that was something back there.
Making reference to the horse incident.
My apologies, Silvarius. It was probably not the correct thing to do, but sometimes I feel you miss the subtleties of politeness and gentleness, and it if I'm honest, it irks me.
He's sitting there with a minor snarl.
But what I did was wrong.
He kind of eases down a little bit and he lowers his sword and kind of looks down to the ground a little bit and then, like, eyes up at her.
There is much known about Claire, Cosette, myself even, and Bardot. You have a expanded sense of who I am from our night at Boffin's store. Yet, however, I feel not much is known about you. You keep yourself shrouded in your tattered clothes. And you are clearly extraordinary. I know we are here for the righting of some wrong, as expressed by Duarte. And we have a mission, but I still desire to know more about you.
Perhaps in time, Silvarius. There is pain in my past, and I am not ready to open up too much about that as of yet, but maybe in time. Until then, perhaps I will just continue to be a mystery. But a
And-
mystery that is on your side.
He stops when she says that as he's walking away, and then he stops and hears it, and then he walks outside into the rain. He's just gonna stay out there for a little while.
Bardo, what are you doing over there with those horses? You've been over there for ages.
I've basically just been checking over my weapons, just doing a status check while everybody else is talking. And so I just look over at Eska and I just show her my sword and just look back down.
Oh, Bardo stuff. Okay.
The rain has died down a smidge now. Wind is still going, but it's lightening up. Probably been close to 2 hours since the since the battle ended.
Does anybody have anything they need to do, or should we head on back to town?
I've got nothing.
Well, let's go back.
Silvarius is already mounting his horse.
Who's taking Julith, or are you just going to make a jog alongside?
We'll just tie her to the back of one of the horses. Drag her. I guess if my horse will take her, I'll invite her onto my horse soon as it's have a pretty good relationship.
Route back's pretty straightforward. Night is starting to fall as you get back towards Delzimer.
To the stables first. He's very cranky.
Would you mind awfully taking me back first? That'd be okay.
I suppose we could.
I think my family would be happy to see me.
I guess we'll head back past there then first.
So yeah, you come in through the south gate as you often have done so far, and swing by past the shrine and the smithy near the bucket of blood, and you come across the Windale house, and Judith slips down off the horse.
We should probably escort you in.
Maybe not all of you at once, though. I'm afraid the housekeeper is a little severe and doesn't care for large parties, as a rule.
So various?
No, I don't think he'll care for him either.
Oh no, he doesn't.
We have had less than stellar interactions.
He's a little afraid of the other, I'm afraid.
He's a fool, if you ask me.
He's been with us a very long time. We forgive him his flaws.
So various, if you come along, are you going to be able to not call him a fool to his face?
Might be difficult, but yes.
Okay. I guess we'll just pop you inside and head on out. We didn't have any particular setup with these guys, right? Aside from just bringing it back.
Correct.
Okay. After you, Silverius, it's your, you know, whatever it is.
Silvarius marches up, loudly raps on the door.
After a moment, the door creaks open. Hello, Lady Judith. You're back.
As we set forth to do, we have accomplished our task.
And he steps kind of out of the way for Lady Julith to...
They did.
Or to...
They were so very, very brave. Well, I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for them. How's Edwin? He's fine. I suppose you could go see him. And with barely a glance back to the rest of you, she darts past the housekeeper and into the house. Well, good day. And he starts to close the door.
He looks over to Eska.
Now,
You did well, Silverius. I'll be honest. They weren't as grateful seeming as I would think.
Privileged.
I suppose so. Well, at least you carried out your task successfully. That's the main thing, right?
indeed.
Yeah, 2 down, 1 to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you dropping off the horses again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You head over to Dawkins. Oh, looky, horses. Right. Thank you. Seems like they're all well. Mostly. Look a bit tired.
They had some good exercise today.
Well, that's good. That's what they're for.
I can't guarantee that we won't be back tomorrow.
It's alright. I'm making plenty of money off you. You keep coming back. I'm making money if you take them out. Make nothing if they're sitting there. In fact, I'm losing money because I got to pay feeding and take care of them and walk them and ride them and no. far better having you lovely folk giving me money for them.
Well, we hope to continue this mutually profitable arrangement.
Yeah, we'll keep bringing back good and healthy and seemingly happy, and we won't have any problems.
What time of day is it?
It is evening, approaching night.
Okay. Claire's going to offer to hang around for just a little bit and do any of the mending that she had promised earlier. If he had any.
Oh, right, yeah. That'd be lovely. In you come.
She happily follows him into the stables.
And yeah, I mean, you spend probably a better part of an hour going through, looking at various bits of the bit and tackles and saddles and various other leather work, and then he makes mention of a door that needs fixing, and soon enough you've gone through and you find yourself suddenly in his home, and there's a pot that seems to have got a crack in it that he's asking you to take a look at, and there's one floorboard in one of the stairs that keeps creaking every time he steps on it. Ask if you can do anything about that.
Claire just happily goes along with it, doesn't even notice the time passing.
Meanwhile, the rest of you, without Claire, presumably head to the shrine.
I guess if Silvarius led the way in that direction, we'd probably all tootle along.
Yeah, he's heading that way.
So you end up inside the shrine. Kelly and Greethan are there discussing. Just seems to be some sort of theological discussion. And Silvarius kind of barges in. Ah, Silvarius, welcome back. How did it go?
We were successful in finding Lady Judith and freeing her unharmed. It involved the complete extermination of the bugbear.
He sort of nods slowly. Well, needs must. They would not bow down peacefully, then this was the only outcome.
We started for otherwise. However, you know how situations can progress.
Well, congratulations. You have passed the second day of your trial. Come, we will have food. We will discuss where your plan went wrong today. And we will prepare for the third day and the final day of your trial. Come, friends of Silvarius. Come, sit, eat. Where's... Did you lose one of your number in this task?
Nay, she is simply tied up in assisting Dorkin. She is rather inclined to aid, even if it may be unnecessarily. However, pure-hearted, that one.
I see. Well, let's just make sure we save at least a healthy plate for her. And once again, a good feast is brought forth before you on the order's dime. Kelly, more than happy to join in and eat. Good. Sort of 45 minutes is spent eating, and during that time, Greethan sort of speaks mostly with Silvarius, getting confirmation of the plan, trying to assess all the different points where it could have gone wrong, making slightly concerned faces as different parts of the plan are mentioned, but you get the impression he's not actually trying to suggest his own alternatives for how it should have gone, more helping Silvarius think through, helping Silvarius vocalize the process and what maybe could have gone better. But good meal takes place, and just as you guys are sort of finishing up, Claire comes in, looking a little tired. Well, even more tired than she had been.
Tired but happy.
Literally exhausted, of course. You see that the food looks like it's pretty much gone as you come in.
Whatever is left, she attacks with gusto.
And as you start to, Kelly comes up with a plate that's just piled high with everything that was there. So there's some choice bits of meat, some nicely roasted vegetables. Just says, don't worry, you aren't going to forget you.
Oh, you're a lifesaver.
And over the sounds of Claire eating, Greethan stands and says, well, I believe it is time for me to take my rest. Who among you will be keeping vigil tonight with Silvarius?
I think I'm gonna have to pass too, Savarius.
Claire, with her cheeks stuffed full of food, kind of points at Cassette and nods her head like what she said.
I think we all feel like Silvarius would be best served by spending this evening in solitude.
I see. Very well. Silvarius, please make your way down.
Does he seem as judgy as he sounds when he says that?
You can make an insight check.
He sounds like he's really judging us.
Yeah. I caught that too.
16.
Yeah, it might have been a little judgy.
That's what I thought. Eska just makes a note that maybe it's not Silvarius' personality, but part of the order to be completely judgy.
Shethrakar and Vizira are down there waiting for you.
He nods and places his hand across his chest, makes his way down. And he's like he's eyeing them all as he kind of goes down.
Use the time wisely, Silvarius.
He just keeps walking.
Kedox joins you.
Does
And,
Silvarius seem as judgy as he sounded there?
You may make an insight check.
It's just a 7. I probably can't tell.
No, you're still figuring him out.
Would I don't want to just ask because I don't want to like metagame it. What would Cassette be able to tell what happened to Silvarius when he was on his second day? Like how he was limited and how that would impact her. I mean, would that be
Give me a medicine check.
surprisingly awful at medicine? 7.
He seemed a bit sluggish, but that's about all you can really
Yeah.
account for.
She begrudgingly, after a few seconds of sitting there staring into the distance, she gets up and follows Silvarius. So she'll walk up to Silvarius. Silvarius, I've changed my mind.
He kind of like looks back at you and he's
You are a person of faith.
Yes.
You understand.
Yeah, I think I do.
What you are being allowed to witness, to be a part of. This is not a normal knighting ceremony. My order, the Order of the Dawning Sapphire, we combat that which normal man cannot. And it may not seem in these quests here that they are normal. These are trials to become a full-fledged knight. We are bound to move forward, to enact justice on the most vile, that which exists. It is an honor, and Bahamut is watching us, guiding our path, much as all the gods are. And he recognizes these steps that you all take. One may not know. I'm sure Eska has no idea. Bardo, perhaps. Claire. I just see her as maybe too young.
I think you're right. I don't know that they may not understand the entire how meaningful this really is, but they wouldn't be here and they wouldn't be helping you if they didn't understand how important it was to you. So I think even though if they don't fully understand it, they can tell how much this means to you. So I think we're all, grateful to help you and be in a position where we can help you with this.
He kind of nods.
She just kind of kneels on the ground, like sitting on her legs. Kind of gets into like a prayer kind of position and just kind of closes her eyes. And not to sleep, but just to pray and rest her eyes a little bit.
So Varus, do me a favor. Roll a stealth at disadvantage for me.
Sick.
Okay. Everybody heard what he was saying. He thinks he was keeping it pretty hush-hush and only Cosette could hear. But it's not that big a room. It's all stone. Sound carries.
I would say that he wasn't trying to be too cool.
Probably also true. Yes. So the night passes. Those who are sleeping, benefits of a long rest. Those who are maintaining the vigil get the benefits of a short rest. Though you can't tell down here in the crypt. Morning comes. Greethan slowly makes his way down the stairs. Good morning, one and all. His voice is a little jarringly loud for some of you. I hope you are well prepared. And then he kind of looks over and kind of, you see his eyebrow go up a little bit. It's clear to him that Cosette has not slept. And he kind of gives a slight nod. I trust you are now prepared for the third and final day of Silvarus' trial. Word was sent to us that the town of Earthheart, west of Delsima, has had issue a number of caravans and merchants, as well as some regular folk, have either been hurt, maimed, or gone missing completely, presumed dead, on the road between Delsima and Earthheart. Those who did survive talked of a many-headed creature, though their descriptions left a lot to be desired. The task is simple. Walk the road, slay the beast, bring back proof. Do this, and Silvarius will be inducted tonight. There were many. There's been more than one from various houses here in Delsmer, some from further afield. I believe there was one trader who would come all the way from Waterdeep, carrying some local delicacies, who arrived with nothing but his life. Lucky to arrive with that, to be honest, but all of the goods he'd trekked hundreds, if not thousands, of miles with, gone.
Goods can be lost. Better that he stay alive. Is he here in town? As with all of our missions, it is best we gather information as best as we can.
Yes, he's here in town. However, I am asking you to go without speaking to anyone. I wish to test your ability to adapt to the unknown.
Into the darkness.
Indeed.
I'm kind of shaking my head, and I say, well, can you tell us anything more?
Right after he says that, Sylvarius raises his hand. He's
You heard him. This is our quest. My quest.
You can probably see that Bardor is actually pretty agitated about this. I am not hiding.
Not all quests, not all tasks. Every bit of information can be re-ascertained.
You don't need to explain that to me. This isn't my first fight, but you don't walk into it blind if you can help it. And I'll walk up the stairs. Don't even listen to him.
I'm gonna holler at him.
You don't walk away from me.
Watch me. And I keep going.
When Bardor does that, Claire also kind of, she's had a pinched expression on her face the whole morning so far as she's, like rolled up her bedroll and all of that stuff. She doesn't look happy. And when Bardor heads upstairs, she just kind of turns on her heel and follows Bardor right up.
Cosette, you changed your mind.
She's like nervously looking back and forth at everybody, not knowing how to fix the situation, but wanting to. So she turned to him. Yeah, I did.
This is noble. And you will receive the blessing of Bahamut today before you leave this place.
Oh, I suppose I should go join the others. I'll see you when you get up.
He kind of looks at you and is like, I hadn't realized you were still here.
That is always what I try to achieve.
About 10 minutes passes. Greethan just discusses the task ahead in very vague terms, giving nothing away whatsoever. And at the end he just says, Sylvarius, when you and your team returned last night, I saw a cohesive unit. A team who were prepared to fight and even die alongside one another, despite obvious differences. Dwarves, elves, humans, and dragonborns is an unusual mix. This morning, I sense disharmony. Shards of the Order must be able to rally around them allies who can help them in the fight, even if they are not themselves members of the Order. Whatever is causing this friction today, you must resolve it.
He kind of looks to the side wall, and then he looks over at Cosette and looks back at him and nods. And
Would be foolhardy to take on a dangerous battle, not knowing if the man at your side has your back or not.
You speak true words, Grethen. I am often frustrated. They sometimes do not see things the way that I do.
there's a little bit of a pause, and he's,
I will make things right.
He nods and says, "Remember, there's more than one way to cook an egg. Just because someone likes it fried doesn't mean they're wrong. You follow me?" Very well. I know today will be taxing for you. You are weary, no doubt. That is the cost of this trial. It pushes you to your limits, physically and mentally. The benefit of having these around you is that they can help when you are at your weakest. And he just sort of nods and gives the impression that you've been dismissed.
it's the affirmation nod. And he's going to start heading upstairs. Before he does, though, he's going to look to Grethen and be like,
Grethen, may we take a break?
What do you mean?
I have to pee.
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
I cast Druidcraft. I did this whilst we were awkwardly waiting in a stony silence at the top of the stairs.
Okay, you cast Druidcraft. It is, it's a very gray day. You can see that now. It's very gray. There is no sun peeking through the clouds at the moment. It's just shades of gray from horizon to horizon. Doesn't appear to be likely to rain. Cosette has 2 levels of exhaustion. Savaris has 3. Everyone else has none. You are gathered outside the shrine.
You described a creature with many heads. I figured I might be sort of thinking back to my, stories I've heard. I was just wondering if any of them rang any bells.
yeah, same.
History checks for anyone who wants to know if they have any ideas.
15.
9.
16.
A whole 10.
23.
How? With disadvantage?
Oh.
Oh, just
Yeah. You have disadvantage on all of your checks.
This is what
Just roll.
you get for being honourable.
yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Cosette was like, I know exactly what this. Wait.
I just don't think of that as ability check.
So what was the highest? 16. Esco and Bardor both 15 plus. A number of things spring to mind. Could be the Hydra. There's some sort of multi-headed dogs that exist. I mean, the most obvious that comes to mind is Tiamat. Actually, Silvarius, you get that with no help needed.
Well, I surely hope we're not having to fight Tiamat.
It's gonna be a rough day.
There's Chimera. I mean, there's all sorts, really. Kind of hard to know. I mean, there's also things like Ettins. It's a two-headed giant kin. So,
Well, I don't feel much more prepared now, but it was worth a thought.
I guess we're gonna need the horses again.
How far outside town did he say it was?
He didn't.
Yeah, he said that it was on the road to Earthheart. So, I would assume, would I know how far Delzimmer is from Earthheart?
It's a few days' ride. Yeah. But you also get the
I guess we
impression that
presume it's relatively close.
you do. It has to be less than half a day away.
Yeah.
But before the horse collection, I feel there would be a discussion with Silvarius, Bardur, Claire.
So Clisette goes off
really?
to start changing the money into more convenient.
I think I might actually follow Cassette. I don't have any big issues.
Eska's issues seem kind of loose.
Yeah.
I think Eska's issue is just Eska's being Eska.
I mean,
I
I could
mean-
see myself just going to get the horses and not even paying attention until he says something. Like, I'm not gonna care. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna-
pretty much Claire's just gonna follow Bardor at this point.
It would have been
As
one
soon
of
as
those.
she sees Silvarius, she's just gonna march off after him.
It would have been one of those like come out the doors, and if they turn, he'll be calling them out, just like
Bardur, Claire, before you go anywhere.
I mean, I'll stop and turn.
Reluctantly, Claire will also do the same. She turns around with her arms crossed.
I believe I may have gotten off on the wrong foot. I ask you, please do not mistake my determination or my pride.
and he's like, you can see him just kind of almost like he's trying to think for the right things to say, sort of like it's a struggle.
Can I tell with my, I'm not the best at this sort of stuff. Could I tell that he's kind of struggling or anything like that?
Give me an insight check.
Yes, 7.
It's a little hard to know exactly where this is going.
Okay, I'll just remain quiet then, I suppose.
Claire, after hearing that, she'll just kind of scrunch up her face at him and just say, I know you're tired, and I know this is hard, but you ask for our respect for you. We ask for your respect for us. You don't know us. You don't know what we've been through. You can't compare what you're going through now to anything that any of us have gone through because you don't know. You've known us for a week. So maybe put your pride aside for a second and understand that we're here helping you out of the goodness of our hearts. We have nothing to prove to you, but we're doing it because we're all here together. And we've no one else in this world right now except each other. And at the end of it, you can hear her her voice start to quiver and her face just gets redder and redder. And as she stops talking, she turns on foot and starts to just kind of stomp off towards the stable.
Or don't turn away.
I just look over at her like damn. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just like, wow.
Does Claire keep stomping away?
No, she'll turn back around. What else do you have to say to me?
You ask me to respect you in return, and yet you walk away. I understand. I am not a fool. I know I offended you. And this is me trying to make amends. You have to duly understand that you do not know me. You do not know what I have been through. We are in that boat together, much like we are here. I can respect and honor that I don't truly know you, but I am appreciative that you are aiding me. Whereas I may have been able to achieve this on my own, I know I have achieved this with you all. Please.
And he kind of half bows.
Accept my apologies.
She, as he talks, you can see kind of like the rise and fall of how he's talking. She gets slightly more irritated with some of the things he says and then kind of softens at other things that he says. Her arms are still kind of crossed defiantly over her chest. And she just kind of nods at him. Yeah, she just says, "You have my respect. And all I think we all ask for you in return is your respect. You've been not the nicest person so far, and I think we're all a little bit tired of it. But, we're all here together, and we've made promises to help you, and we've made promises to help each other as far as we can. And that's all we ask. And your apology does mean a lot to me. But from here on out, I think you're just gonna have to be nicer to us. You're a bit rude."
There's this kind of like pseudo shocked expression briefly on his face, and then he focuses back in, and you could probably tell he heard.
So yeah, after that, she just kind of nods sharply at him and continues on her way over to the stable.
Yeah, and as if Claire starts to walk off, I'll just wait till she walks away a bit, and it'll be like, look, I don't care whether you're nice or not, but going into a fight blind is just dumb.
Now, you should know better that we would go blindly into this. I was going to suggest we formulate a plan and utilize our skills and capabilities.
Well, I think that's a good idea, but not being able to actually gather intelligence isn't the best idea. But here we are, so.
I understand that. You and me both. We are soldiers in our own right. I am not comfortable. However, this quest is not about comfort. It is about overcoming, striving, pushing through. we both know, even if we knew what was out there, that's hardly enough.
Last fight showed us that. Just a deep sigh, just nods, like kind of, showing that like he's pretty much, resigned to this, but he's not bitter or anything like that.
Gonna nod and he's gonna follow because we're all awkwardly heading to the same spot.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like there's just this line going now towards the stable.
Cosette and Esca, was there anything you wanted to do or pick up aside from just switching out the money to a more convenient quantity?
No, I was just gonna follow and probably not go in, but stay outside wherever Cassette went.
Okay.
And then just follow her as she went.
And I don't think I have any healing potions. I know we got a couple. I don't think we used any, but I guess while we're walking around, if there's a way we could swing by the herbalist.
Did we pick up 3 potions?
We did. We got 3 regular potions of healing.
At the camp.
from the bugbear camp.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
So, you meet up and head back to Jorgen's. Oh, all right. Here we go again. Same horses, I presume.
Of course.
Good. Nice and easy. Like that. Thank you. And he starts bringing them out. He kind of looks at Cassette and Sylvaris. Now, excuse my bluntness, but you two look wretched. You should try sleeping more.
Oh, you know what? That's a good idea.
That one's free. Next one I charge for.
I appreciate your
All right, who's paying me 10 gold?
just before we went in, I would have probably told the group that together we have 344 gold, 5 silver, and 3 copper.
You also have some miscellaneous items that may have value.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think we ever actually divided up any of the items.
Have a retroactive item
The only thing Claire would have wanted would have been the bag of perfumed candles.
Phil, I hate to ask, but what was the stuff again?
A scroll of continual flame, which is a 2nd level.
Oh, yeah.
3 potions of healing. Box of perfumed candles. Rabbit fur vest. A carved wooden rod. And a ceramic medallion of the fertility goddess Thune.
That carved wooden rod seem unusual, or does it just seem like a rod? You know what? I shouldn't ask that.
Okay.
I hand the
alright.
rod to Silverius and ask him if it seems unusual.
You may make an arcana check at disadvantage.
Oh, I forgot you, useless.
Hey, wait. Watch this.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
There it is.
Oh, boy.
That's a sick.
Your brain's a little fried. Could be it's a pretty stick. Could be it's the most potent magical item the world has ever seen.
I guess as Silverius looks at it kind of dumbfoundedly, I say, Claire, you slept. Any thoughts? I don't know if you're any good at this, but...
Technically, she is the same skill modifier as Silvarius, but we'll see whether her rolls are
yeah,
any better.
literally can't be any worse.
But yeah, she'll
So Varus kind of looked like he was having trouble focusing.
Yeah,
she'll just
took
kind
me
of
took me 3 times to actually hand it to him when he didn't just drop it immediately.
she'll just kind of roll her eyes and snatch it out of his hand. That would be a 17.
Hey.
You're not getting anything off it. I mean, it's nicely carved. It looks like it would be nice as an arcane focus if someone were to imbue it with that power. Currently, it's just a rod.
She'll just hand it back to Eska and say, well, it's a really pretty stick. I mean, it might be good for an arcane focus if anyone wanted to do that with it. But otherwise, it's just a stick.
It probably has some
Nice.
innate value because it's well carved.
A pretty stick.
What's it carved with? Like, what is the carving? Is it just patterns or is it design?
Yeah,
a
it's
set
just
design?
sort of geometric patterns, basically. That have been carved in. Maybe only like a 16th of an inch, but it was, the wood was very smooth and then it's carved into. So, I mean, you could almost call it a wand. Except it doesn't seem to. It's like a pre-wand, almost.
Yeah. I hand it round to everybody and get them to swish it a few times. See if their hair kind of blows around at all. If it doesn't, I guess stuff it in a bag.
You start heading out. That seem accurate.
I mean, unless we want to stand around and debate who gets the rabbit fur vest.
Is it cool looking?
It's pretty dope.
Is it sort of like bugbear size?
No, it is human size.
I guess if nobody else is looking interested, Eska might take it for in case it gets cold.
Looks
Alright,
like it's Eska's.
I'm putting it down.
So, the road west, as you start to head out, pretty wide. If you wanted to, you could ride 5 abreast. You'd have to move if anyone was coming the other way, or if you were overtaking anybody.
I'm
But
gonna hang back.
how far?
And I would let them know. I wouldn't just do this without telling people.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, Sylvaris wanted to.
Oh, I guess I'll wait till Savarius talks to us. But once he has, unless he commands otherwise, I would probably want to hang back like a good 30, 40 feet.
As we're all riding up, Sylvaris kind of turns his horse. He kind of like kicked his horse to get like sort of in the front-ish, and then he kind of like turns it around and kind of puts his hand up to try to like get everyone to sort of stop. And
A word before we continue. It is not my intention to jeopardize any of your lives for my ascension. I propose, post-planning here, that I take point. I will scout ahead with key dogs. Should I see our quarry, perhaps I can identify it, and we can further plan from there. But since we are heading blind into this, I will bear this front. You are all capable. Should I fall, do not sacrifice yourself for me. However, I feel with your aid, we will make it through this. If there's any other suggestions, now would be the time. But that is what I wish.
Well, I don't agree necessarily with you, considering your state. But if it's what you want, then
I am fine with my decision.
Seems like we're all on the same page.
I plan to hang at the back a little ways, just so I have a wider field of view and can react a little if I see anything coming from behind. Just giving you prior warning.
He'll nod.
And if we all act in accord, let us continue.
And he'll kick his horse around and continue.
And then you've got Kedok with you as well, yeah?
He's gonna send him up to the sky.
Okay.
And he's gonna keep him within range to periodically kind of like check in with him, either peering through his eyes or getting him to just kind of like survey. I'll keep him as far forward as I sort of can.
Make a perception check for Kedox then. Also, make a stealth check for Kedox.
24.
So, a couple hours pass as you sort of trot down the road, heading west. You're following along the forest with it on your left-hand side, and then it sort of opens up a bit more to your right as you travel. Kedox doesn't report anything so far. Go ahead and make one more perception check with Kedox.
He is still just as focused with the 9.
I see. About just after midday, Kedox says he thinks he saw something.
With that, Savaris would have just kind of uttered out.
Stay alert.
200 feet from him, appears to be flying towards you.
Find cover. It's aerial and coming towards us.
Is there any cover?
Well, hi. Let's take a look. First of all, what do you do with your horses?
I mean, the best thing to do would be to take him into the woods to get him in cover.
Yeah, I would ride straight for the woods. Take it in about 10-15 feet. Tie it to a tree.
I mean, that's what I would intend to do as well. If Gertrude will actually listen to me.
Make an animal handling check.
Sweet. We're gonna go right down the throat of this stupid thing. 15.
She is compliant. Those who are heading into the woods, as you head into the woods, Kedox reports back less than 150 feet, closing fast.
You know what? I would probably wait till I see it.
I have an action also determined for until I can see it and if I can identify it.
You can both make perception checks. Also, what is Kedox doing right now?
Pedaling, he would fly kind of like halfway back and to the north, but keeping an eye to get a better idea of what it is.
Okay. And he knows it's kind of flying at you from the northwest corner.
Okay, and I'll report that to like. I'll just say that like I'll give the team an idea.
Phil, I changed my mind again. I think Eska would be more concerned with the horse. She would go put the horse in the woods.
Okay. Silvarius, make a perception check. For yourself, with disadvantage. Cassette and Silvarius, you staying on your horses for now?
No, I can't have Leroy hurt. I guess I'll take him to the woods.
Okay. Okay, so Cassette, you're now at half speed. It is less than 100 feet out. You do see a couple of abandoned wagons by the side of the road that suggest to you that this is one of its preferred hunting spots. That's about it. Esk, you said you were coming back out?
I mean, just as soon as the horse is tied, I'm gonna maybe run back out to just behind the cart, if that's possible, to try and kind of use it as cover, but look and see what's. look into the sky.
Okay, make a perception.
It is 9.
Flies into view above the trees. I think it's a good time to roll for initiative, I think.
13.
15.
Is initiative disadvantage?
8.
Yeah. Initiative is disadvantage.
13 for.
Cassette. Is it 16?
16.
So, Cassette, you see this multi-headed creature fly in from the northwest. Well, you kind of see, you're kind of in the trees a bit at the moment. Looks about, maybe only 60 feet away from Silvarius at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna move. I'm probably just gonna double move along the tree line to get closer, but still kind of try to stay a little hidden.
Claire.
She is similarly to Cassette. After she ties up her horse and everything, is going to kind of just stay in the tree line. Yeah, that's it for now until it gets closer.
And so were you holding something, did you say?
Can you hold a cantrip?
Yep.
Yeah, then she will hold a firebolt just in case.
Kidox. Oh, and Orbadur.
Kidox is going to fly.
So using perception for his action. Okay. Make a perception check with advantage this time. Make a history check for Kidox as well. Which should, I guess, be straight intelligence. He does not know this creature by name, but he is able to describe what he sees to you. A 3-headed creature. One head appears to be draconic in nature. One head appears to be leonine in nature. One head appears to be goat in nature. It has large leathery wings, not unlike a dragon. The body seems to be most closely resembling the lion part of the creature. And it has a scaly tail as well that is of the same general design as the wings. Butter.
Kind of behind that stump there. And I can see it, I assume, because it was up in the air, right?
Yeah,
all right.
It's above.
Hunter's mark. And I am going to shoot at it with my bow.
A 26 definitely hits.
All right, so 12 piercing damage and 3 from the hunter's mark, so 15 total.
All right.
And then dreading ambusher. Dice 25
Hits.
to hit. Let's see. So the dread ambusher and the hunter's mark together is 7. It's 3 and then 4 and then 11 piercing, so it would be 18 total.
Yeah. So you hurry out from behind the trees, kneel behind the stump, take 2 quick shots, and both fly true and puncture into the chest of the beast. It is... Well, to say it's displeased would be an understatement. It is the creature's turn. It swoops rapidly across, 2 of the heads snapping at Kidox as it flies. And it comes up to the tree line where Claire and Cassette are standing. The dragon head takes a deep breath and then breathes out. I would need a dexterity save from both Claire and Cassette, please, as a cone of fire bursts out from it.
Yeah, not good. Critical fail.
So, yeah, this creature breathes out. Oof. Just a huge cloud of flame erupts from the dragon's mouth, dealing 38 fire damage on a failed save.
Okay, so quick question. What happens when you go negative hit points?
You are unconscious.
Asking.
Yeah, not for me, of course, but
No. Sorry, your friend is unconscious.
yeah. Okay, so Claire's unconscious.
Would they have gotten their attack?
Yeah, that is. We were
Oh, yes,
holding stuff.
Oh.
Okay, well, that is a crit.
Yeah.
That's why it was so. Good job, Claire.
It kind of wanted to take Kedox down, but oh well. Yeah. So as it swoops in, you take a second and you throw out your little mote, and it bursts, and you see the little patch of fur catch fire, and then you're like, "Why is the fire suddenly so big?" And then it just consumes you. The creature right now is only about 10 feet off the ground. The tree that Claire is standing next to is also now ablaze, however. Savarius.
He's gonna see that happen. He's just like, no, and he kicks his horse and gets it charging over.
Given your elevation, you can reach it from horseback.
Take a deep breath and breathe out an icy cold breath
Okay.
in return.
Big abject failure.
8.
Okay. So, let's be honest here, slightly smaller quantity, there is another burst of elemental stuff as so Varys seeks to put out the chimera. I may have struggled for a word there. Let's pretend I didn't. And it is you see the ice cling to its body for a second before its natural temperature sort of wears it off. You feel like that did full damage. So far, everything has done full damage. Okay, Eska.
Eska's going to grasp the pendant around her neck and attempt to cast Levitate on the creature.
Okay.
So it's a con saving throw.
What's my number to beat?
Oh, it is 14.
Okay, I rolled a 16.
Okay. She is then going to back up behind this tree. And
Okay.
that's me done.
Cassette, you're up.
I guess I'll save Claire's life. How do I do that?
Thanks.
I'll take a step over and give her a regular heal for 6 total health. Okay, that's my turn.
Okay. Claire.
She is going to cast Cure Wounds on herself. I'm gonna go ahead and do a level 2.
Okay.
And how much movement does it use to stand back up?
Half.
So she is definitely at least gonna move back about 10 feet into the tree line.
Kedox. Or Bador.
And then I'll have Kedox start like nipping at it, and
Sure thing. Bador.
I'm going to shoot at it again. Let's see, 26 and 6 on the hunter's mark and 12 on the regulars. So that's 18 if my math is correct, which is max damage that I could do in the circumstance.
The creature looks bloody. That was a palpable hit. Another one comes through. A third arrow to the chest. Or
Let's see.
approximate chest area, given that
Approximate chest.
there's 3 heads, so anatomy is a little complicated here.
I don't necessarily think that. I'm gonna just run around to the other side of the cart.
Okay.
Just to put something in between us.
You see the dragon take a breath, and then it splutters. Nothing comes out. However, it does have willing victims nearby. So, the lion head is going to reach out, and it's going to go at Silvarius. It's going to chomp at you. That is an 11 to hit. I think you're okay. Then the goat head comes down and tries to ram you. That is a 25 to hit.
Decidedly hits.
And it deals 14 bludgeoning. And then its claws lash out at you. That is a 10 to hit. It's going to fly away, so you'll get an attack of opportunity here. And it's now 20 feet up. And just sort of surveying the scene.
10.
10 does not hit. Now it is your regular turn.
There's a disgruntled exhale. He's gonna ride Chad over to this rock,
Okay.
or kind of like, wait, I guess he's gonna drop his sword and thrust his hand out, and the blue energy appears with ice crystals, and it shoots out of a frost.
Having already been caught out in the cold once by you today, it is prepared for this one and manages to duck as the ray comes across. Eska.
Eska grasps her pendant and casts Levitate.
That is a fail.
So I will make it rise vertically up to 20 feet. I'll just make it go another 10 feet up.
Okay. Okay. Slightly complicated situation. On account of it being a flying creature.
Yeah, I read up on it one time, and I think the suggestion was that they can't fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's basically holding in place.
Yeah.
It's stuck 30 feet up right now. Cassette, it's your turn.
I pull out a javelin, it comes at me. Pull out the flail, it runs away from me. What do I want it to do now? I guess I will drop the flail. And I didn't... I think I'm still right where... Or pretty close to right where I dropped the javelin. Could I pick that up? And I'll step out of the woods a little bit, and then I'll just hold a javelin throw if it gets within 30 feet.
Okay. I'm currently trying to figure out how heavy a chimera is. I mean, the problem is nothing that I can find is official because they don't put weights in of creatures.
They should.
They should because there are
They're
spells.
going to put
like...
weights in spells.
Right, exactly.
Because what's it considered, large?
Yeah.
Which large has a range, though, of 500 pounds to 2 tons.
I will say that a liger weighs 1,000 pounds. In reality.
But can it fly? No.
That's true. To be able to fly.
Ligers weigh 1,000 pounds? That's insane.
That's chunky.
Have you not seen Tiger King?
No,
I mean,
This is where
part
we
of
get
your
all our
working
facts
knowledge
now.
look, I have because, life.
Okay, so an adult lion would be expected to weigh about 400 plus pounds, a male. I think
A condor, which is the biggest flying bird, only weighs 33 pounds.
Yes, but this isn't a condor. This
No.
is a lion with the
Whoa,
addition
whoa,
of a
hang
dragon
on.
head and a goat head.
And wings, right?
And wings.
Phil, I do
This is
have
great.
a backup plan if you wish to make it heavier than 500 pounds.
I
And if
think
you feel like I could have assessed that.
yes. I think on reflection, because I was contemplating that. I think it probably is more than 500 pounds, and I think you probably would have been able to assess that.
Okay, that's fair.
Still fail.
In that case, I will grasp my pendant and cast Earthbind.
Okay, so it
So I
safely
guess you float
descends.
to the ground safely.
Okay. Okay, so it now has a fly speed of 0.
Yes. I'm going to move into the trees.
Very good. Cassette, are you still happy with your movement?
Yeah.
In that case, after the mini retcon,
I'm kind of happy about that anyway. I mean, you don't often get to use Earthbind as much,
Mm-mm.
so...
no.
You also don't often get to theorize the weight of a three-headed lion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy. Claire, do something ordinary and uncomplicated for my brain, briefly.
She will do
You wouldn't
something
mind.
very uncomplicated. She will peek out from behind the tree that she's hiding behind and cast a firebolt. Nice, simple firebolt cantrip. For a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
So 5 fire damage. So after that, she is going to cautiously move up to this last tree. As a bonus action, she will cast Spiritual Weapon right here by its heads.
Okay,
Claire
you can now.
literally almost had like a come to Jesus moment, so she is definitely still going to hang back, even if it's earthbound.
I mean, it could still run very fast.
Unicorn Hammer clobbers for a 13.
13 just misses.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would be too low. Otherwise, that is it.
Badu.
I'll take another shot at it. 19
19 hits.
hit. And let's see, what's it? 16 damage.
Okay. This one actually pierces one of the clip wings, and it roars in pain. It's angry. This is not going according to its plan. This was supposed to be just another good ambush with lots of food. And see the dragon kind of coughing and spluttering still. It's taking some damage to that particular head, and it seems unable to breathe fire again. It is going to charge towards the most obvious threat in front of it, which is Cosette. It gets 5 feet short of you and stares menacingly at you. You see the dragon nostrils flaring.
Do I was holding a javelin throw.
Oh,
for
yes,
30
you can
feet. Do I
absolutely,
get-
yes, sorry.
So 14
If we're doing the
Yeah, we would indeed, and that just hits.
or 9.
Yeah, as this beast comes galloping over towards you, you just huck a javelin, and it actually goes through its right wing and like pins it against its like hindquarters. It screeches in pain in 3 different tones, and snarls at you angrily. Silvaris, your turn.
seeing a moment, he's gonna kick his horse. He gets a full gallop, and when he gets within range, he reaches out his open hand and grasps it shut and casts Thunder Wave.
Con save. Fail.
15.
Oof.
Nice.
The creature's knocked back 10 feet. Yeah, 10 feet. And it actually sort of tumbles over, which just pushes the javelin in further. And the creature sort of like looks around, terrified. Get the distinct feeling it's on its last legs.
With that fear in his eyes, Silvaris is gonna keep pushing forward on him.
And as soon as you get within range, it lashes out. It chomps you with a bite. 26 to hit,
That's a solid.
and that is 15 piercing. Eska. You hear there's a loud chomping sound as the lion reaches out and takes a bite out of Silverius. But you see the creature is looking very, very wounded, heavily wounded, with the ground around it turning red.
Eska will draw her bow and attempt a shot. 26.
That hits.
It's going to be 6 piercing damage.
Okay. So, as the lion kind of turns and reaches up and grabs Silverius, you come around, sneak out from behind the bush, loose a shot, and the lion head kind of rears back up, looking like it's going to take another chomp, and the arrow just goes right through the back of the neck. And Silverius, you see that the arrowhead kind of poking out of the lion's mouth, and then the eyes cloud over, and the creature falls to the ground.
Eska tries not to look too proud.
Claire immediately runs off into the bushes and heaves up her breakfast. She's never been knocked out before. First time.
I guess after that, Silverius is going to look at everybody and see Claire run off and throw up and kind of holler over to Cosette.
Cosette, are you okay?
Yeah. Took a little bit of a toasting, but yeah, I think I'm fine. And Claire seemed to get the worst of it, but I'm gonna walk over and kind of take a closer look at Claire while also picking up my flail.
She just kind of waves her away. I'll be fine in a minute.
You can make a.
She does that thing that,
medicine
like,
check.
I think it's required for girls to do, to like offer to hold your hair. I don't know the rules, but I think it's like a girl code thing.
Usually there's a certain level of inebriation that goes along with that.
Well, true.
Being
I'm gonna roll
sober.
another die. I rolled a 3 minus 1, but I'm at disadvantage. So let me roll one more, see if I can get a.
Please do.
Sweet.
No. Okay. So a 2.
You're honestly not sure if Claire is going to be okay in a minute. I mean, she said she is, but it's not looking good. For one thing, she's still smoldering.
I just pat out anything that's still.
Oh, Cosette, it's disgusting. Just walk away. I'll be fine. And you hear more huh, as she walks away. Last little bit of breakfast.
She looked at the goat head. It's
You look down, and the goat head is disgusting. It's right there in front of you now.
Claire does eventually wander out looking a little green around the gills, but mostly steady.
Eska says to Silverius, "So, what are you taking for your trophy?"
Real quick glance at the cart in the picture. Is it in any kind of serviceable condition?
Make an investigation check.
If anybody sees him checking this out, feel free to.
No, Eska's completely not paying attention. She's wants to carve this thing up.
Yeah, you think this one actually looks to be in reasonable shape. With a little work, you could probably rig it up so that the 2 of the horses are pulling it.
Yeah, with that, Silverius is gonna carry his horse on over to the cart.
Did you say he's going to carry his horse?
I said that, but I didn't mean that.
Okay.
Even though, well, if I didn't have disadvantage,
Might give it a go.
feeling kind of exhausted.
Perhaps we take some or all of it. Ingfin might fancy a bit of this, and at the same time, what more proof than the entire creature?
If you think you can lift it, give it a shot.
Is anyone going to help him, or are you just going to try and let him lift that himself?
Yeah, I'll help out.
Okay. So everyone who's doing it, joining in. Make athletics check with disadvantage as appropriate.
Heska would just be saying stuff like, pivot, pivot.
Heck yeah! Finally,
Claire for a
Good.
15.
9.
So, initially, Cassette, Silveris, and Bador are there, kind of like trying to figure out how to get this thing in there. Eska's giving very unhelpful advice. And Claire comes up and just still sort of wiping a little bit of muck off her face. Kind of gets herself under there a little bit and then calls over her spiritual weapon and uses it as like a fulcrum. And combined effort of everybody are able to shuffle the corpse into the cart. It creaks rather ominously, but the wheels stay attached. You're going to need a little bit of work to make sure that the horses are attached correctly.
And before we take off, Claire would double check the cart for any really obvious parts that look a little rickety, like the wheel connections and stuff, and give it a good mending cantrip.
Give me an investigation roll for that.
15.
Okay. Yeah, you do see a couple areas that look a little bit disconcerting, and you're able to check it over, and you think that it's as sturdy as it's gonna be.
I might, whilst they're actually doing all that heavy work as well, I might take a look around, like the other busted up carts.
Okay.
See if there's any, just see what's about.
Make an investigation roll for me.
A 6.
In the broken up cart on the other side, you do find a couple of little odds and ends that look like they're probably too far damaged. And then there's one little coin purse that holds about 9 gold pieces.
I will toss it to Cassette and say, this is all that was really about.
Chad looks more than a little flustered by the events that took place, but relatively unscathed. It takes 10-15 minutes of cajoling horses and tying various bits up, but you can choose who to put in there. I think Chad was already kind of nominated, whether he wanted to be or not, which is probably wise since he's by far the strongest horse.
yeah, stout boy.
You'd want at least one other horse, if not 2.
I mean, I don't mind walking, but we would be going slow.
Yeah, you think it would probably go at sort of like normal human pace. If you were to put the 3 non-ponies there, you also think those of you who cannot walk at normal pace might be able to just sneak on the back of the cart.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind, like, squidging up against Chimera Butt.
Oh no, I do.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow when you finally arrive in town.
I'm sure with 343 gold in my pocket, I could get somebody. Yep. Or just get robbed of this.
Yeah, don't go flashing that around.
So yeah, you're able to get everyone hooked up, and you can head back to town.
At some point, Sylvaris is going to walk up to Claire, and he's just going to hold out the potion towards her. Say,
All my attempts failed. You were not meant to be the first.
She just kind of waves the potion back at him. I'm feeling much better, honestly. Should probably just hang on to it. We'll be back at the village in no time.
If that is your wish.
The trip back is relatively uneventful. You see 3 more chimeras flying around, but they're uninterested in you. Just kidding. There's no more chimeras.
I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, we should report this.
There is a flock.
You see no more chimeras. Given that you are traveling at a slower pace than you headed out, it is past sunset by the time you get back into town. Those who are walking have very weary feet. The horses look exhausted as well at this point, but you are able to roll into town with your chimera wagon. Town's pretty quiet. A lot of people have already turned in for the day. What with it being, late, or at least not necessarily turned in, but you're able to slowly plod up to the Shrine of Moradin. And there's a little bit of a commotion. One of the guards sent a runner up ahead. And Greethan and Kelly and various onlookers gather outside as you come back with this wagon. Well, I see you were successful in your hunt. And Greethan kind of eyes the wagon. This wasn't quite what I expected when I said we needed proof.
I'm not one to typically overachieve. However, we have more use for the remainder of this creature.
I have no issue with this. It is yours to do with as you see fit. Come, leave it for now. And he kind of looks at Kelly, and Kelly just says, so someone will keep an eye on it. I don't think anyone's walking off with their chimera. Let's retire down to the crypt. And he beckons the 5 of you in. So, you will kind of head down. And Rethan steps forward towards goes to the altar and picks up the breath of Bahamut. Suvarius Kurutarok, over the past 3 days, you have demonstrated all the traits required of the Order of the Dawning Sapphire. Now, in fairness, you may not have exhibited them all at all times, but they are there within you. And I know your heart is pure. From this day forward, you will be known as a shard in the Order of the Dawning Sapphire. As part of your responsibilities, you are to carry and wield the breath of Bahamut. And he holds out the sword for you to take.
Takes this kind of a deep breath, and he reaches out towards it and pauses for a slight moment, and then slowly wraps his fingers around the handle and lifts it from Greethan's hands. He says in Draconic,
I am the breath. I am the fire in his lungs.
and kind of holds it out in front of him as he's like eyeing up the blade from the hilt all the way to the tip.
And as you say the word fire in Draconic, the runes on the blade light up, and then the sword bursts into white flames. The room is now incredibly bright.
His eyes go like wide and then like narrow in, almost like you can see his eyes smiling at it, with that curl in the side, like crow's feet.
You have proven yourself worthy of this weapon so far. See that you do not stray from this path, Silvarius. We are trusting you to continue the work of the Order. Now, for the rest of your days. And then he turns to the rest of the group and says, and to you, the companions of Silvarius, those who fought by his side, suffered the lash of his tongue, and he kind of glances back at Silvarius, bled for his trial. Alas, I find myself bereft of any other flaming swords. However, I am able to offer each of you a small token of appreciation, a reward from the vaults of the Order of the Dawning Sapphire. He reaches down and from a small bag at his side, he kind of reaches in and pulls out a pair of boots, goes inside again, pulls out a candle, a pipe, a key, and a tankard. And he says, each of you may choose one of these items. They are more than they appear, though, again, alas, not quite the potency of the breath of Bahamut. However, they may aid you in your journey as you travel alongside Silvarius. Would you like to know what they are?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The boots are only fit for humanoids, though that applies to everybody here. While wearing these boots, you can choose to have them leave tracks like those of any other humanoid of your size. As useful as you are able to create from your brain, I think. Well, this candle can never be extinguished in water. It will remain lit. It will continue to give off light and heat underwater. This pipe, and you see him smile when he says that. In truth, this is just it's an old favorite of the Order. And he actually picks it up and lights it, and exhales a puff of smoke that shapes itself into the form of a 1 foot tall smoky dragon. After a few seconds, it just dissolves into regular smoke. A novelty perhaps, but we have fun with it. The key, in truth, the key is something of a mystery. We have yet to find a lock for which it works, but I'm sure one day it'll open something. And finally, the tankard. And he picks it up, and you can see that on one side of it there's a very severe-looking face that's been sculpted onto it. Anyone who drinks from this tankard, whether it be ale, wine, or any other alcoholic beverage for that matter, can drink and drink and drink, while never becoming inebriated. However, this will have no effect on magical beverages. Believe me, we've tried. For research purposes, obviously. We had to make sure it was not a dangerous artifact.
And he gestures first to Bardoor.
Oh, I mean, the pipe, if I may.
You know, I rather thought you might say that. It seems a good fit. So you may add to your inventory the Pipe of Smoke Monsters.
So,
I am actually quite appreciative of this, and I give a deep bow and kind of like, sort of like gesturing, like not really offering it up, but just sort of like backing up, maybe like, thank you very much.
There's nothing less than you deserve. Claire, please.
She approaches and seems a little torn between the key and the tankard. But she eventually chooses the key.
You may write on your inventory, Mystery Key. Eska.
I think I rather the boots.
Very good. Please add to your inventory the Boots of False Tracks. Cassette.
she's been looking at the candle the whole time and was just glad it was still there. So, so yeah, she'll.
Okay, you can add the Candle of the Deep. You see him kind of reach down, pick up the tankard, and he smiles and just pops it back in his bag. Excellent. More research. This has been a taxing few days on you, I know. Suvarius, for the ritual to be complete, you must spend at least an hour now with this weapon. Then, I suggest you get some rest. We intend to leave tonight. We have ways of getting out of town quickly. If there's anything else you need to know, then speak with us before you spend time with the blade.
That would be right now.
Correct. That's why I'm standing looking at you.
I am just curious of home. Is everything faring all right on that end of...
As well as can be expected. We had 10 days ago, a band of frost giants decided to try and lay siege to one of the smaller towns, and we helped take care of that. Orc tribes on the move, as usual. But no, nothing out of the ordinary, really.
In Silvarius's head, would this match up with like typical events
Yeah, pretty much.
pre Duarte?
Yeah, that sounds fairly commonplace. Assuming I've correctly remembered where the order is based.
Yeah.
So we're up north in the cold bit.
Silvarius is gonna like just briefly chat with him, and he's going to mention a couple of specific names, just to see if all the names register, with also like his
Mhm.
figuring a sense of normality, if it's at all kind of.
Yeah. So yeah, you're able to sort of spend 5 or 10 minutes just discussing, names you kind of check are acknowledged as existing and still doing what you expect them to do. Very well. Silvarius, it was an honor to oversee your trial.
And I am honored that you oversaw it, good friend.
My gut tells me you have work still to do down here.
Much, in fact.
Very well. I will report back to the order that you intend to stay here. You have the assistance of Kelly as needed. For now, we will take our leave. And he gestures to the other silver-clad dragonborn. And they head up the stairs and depart. Kelly pokes his head down and says, okay, so I found somewhere that we can store that thing overnight. Deal with it in the morning. You guys look awful. You need to sleep. Get patched up. Come back tomorrow, we'll deal with it, okay? Don't feel you have to sleep here, by all means. You know, if you want to go to one of the taverns, that's your call. You're welcome to stay down there again, though. Alrighty. A good bed.
So Varus is actually going to opt to stay down there.
Yes,
For...
I had a feeling he might. So, yeah. A good bed means not the bucket of blood, but the traveler's respite. Set you all back a couple of silver pieces. In the morning, so Varus, you feel slightly less exhausted, but not completely back to normal. Likewise, Cosette. So Varus, you're down to 2 points of exhaustion. Cosette down to 1.
Yay!
And you all feel a little bit more powerful.
Oh my.
You are now level 5. And that is where we will end for the night.
We did it, y'all.
Thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Goodness golly me, Silverius has a nice sword to his name now, and oh my goodness, they've just hit level 5. As a reminder, we're available where all podcasts are found pretty much, and on YouTube if you want to watch along, see the dice get rolled, that sort of thing, then I highly recommend that you do. We'll see you next time for more Fables from the Pickled Quipper. Goodbye.